Good morning to everyone. I'm academic counselor HARADHAN BISWAS from IGNU. Today MMPH-03. Today our course is MMPH-03 Human Resource Planning, and today I will likely to complete block number 3. That's unit number 9 and 10. That's the last 2 units of the block number 3. So block number 3, there are 2 units which are that is human resource audit, and unit number 10 is here human resource accounting. These 2 units are where see their definition, their principles, their characteristics, and what are the inside of these 2 units. Let's see. So go through the units. There are first introduction, then concept, the definition, characteristics, benefits, scope of the audit, objectives, and audit process, research approaches, and advantage of the HR audit. And what are the limitations of the HR audit that I have to see. Now, before we start the session, I have to say the HR audit. You see the audit normally, the concept is basically for your financial side. It's not only the financial side. It's here actually the HR, human resource capitals, their accountability, how best they have done both as per the compensation package. Really, the things are as per the projection which we have already decided. What that outcomes of from the human resource development on the humans capitals, really it is occurred or not, and what are the shortfalls that we have to see based on the things. Now, this one definition is there. The word like the word actually basically is a Latin word, is audit, and thus the auditing has become a part of the process for on-site verifications and inspections of the examinations to achieve the desired quality of the systems. As I said, that inspections, means which an examination, basically what are the things, or we can say the HR audit is just like a diagnostic tools. It's a diagnostic tools. Through this, just like a doctor's, first he has to diagnose the things, which are the problems, or which are the issues, or which are the diseases in the human body. And then after that, based on this diagnosis process, he has concluded, achieved and become conclusions that this type of things are to be removed, or maybe some remedies or some solutions is given. Similarly, as the audit process, we have to see how best we can remove the problems in the human systems, I mean from the HR categories. So definitely the HR audit means the systematic verifications of the job analysis. As I said, women are doing the work, and based on this is getting the salaries. So job analysis and design, recruitment and the selections, orientation, placement, training, development, performance appraisal, and job evaluations, employee and executive remunerations, motivations, and moral, participative management, communications, welfare and social security, safety and healthy, industrial relations, trade unionisms, and disputes of their resolutions. It means altogether complete organizations where the humans are there, the way they are working, the procedures, rule and regulation policies. So everything has to be verified. And for that, maybe some internal audit system is there and some external audit system. I will come to you. After that, I will try to explain the things with some examples. So first of all, try to understand the definitions. Means auditing such a tools. Through this way, we have to verify all this. As I said, that is the orientation, recruitment, development, performance levels, everything has to be scrutinized. or you can say diagnosed. The HR audit is very much useful to achieve the organizational goal, and also it is a vital tool which helps to assess the effectiveness of the functions, HR functions of an organization. So from these definitions, it is very clear, basically audit for the verification, or you can say the inspection, whatever it is. And the help to assess what are the outcomes or the reports will come as the audit teams or audit persons will give. So that reports will help to develop further. That is the basically, and we can understand the all the HR functions are really performing or not. I mean, that all the functions of the HRs basically, that all these functions are really okay. In the sense of okay, all the functions are okay. Now, see the characteristics of the human resource audit. Now, human resource audit, what are the characteristics? There actually we have to see the following things. Some of the things: process of the examinations, SWOT analysis or HR systems. There is a SWOT, as we know. There is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. What are the threats are there? That also very easily we can understand from this process. So that is one of the characteristics. Then diagnostic tools, because definitely the diagnostic tools helps in implementing the matrix and the benchmark practices. Implementing metrics basically based on the reports of the organizations from the all angles. You can set some of the future plan considering the past issues, past problems, so that how best we can do it. So that matrices, implementing matrices, you can set it. Means basically, for example, how many training is really needed or not, or what type of skill is required. So that all these things, this matrices you can set, and you can fix some of the benchmark of the practices. And definitely you have to consider the competitive market. My company is really all the human capitals or whatever the resources are at par with the world class. Latest state of the art can meet the demand of the market. So these things are really helpful through this audit. We can have that knowledge we can give. So that is one of the characteristics. Now benefits. What are the benefits of the audit? Because it may be a question, some of it is a waste of money. Maybe the top management will think why it is required. What are the benefits? It provides the various benefits of the two organizations, some of the things. It helps to find out the proper contributions of the HR department towards the organizations. Maybe it is a part of your characteristics also. But still it is a benefit because you can easily understand what to do. All the departments are functioning in the right way or not. Then development of the professional image of the HR department of the organizations. So it is one of the professional HR can be built up. I mean, through this development. When you understand this is the problem, this is the issues, this is the gaps are there, that you can fill up the gaps through different way, maybe the good practices, training and development, learning process, skilling, upskilling. So there are so many ways you can fill the gaps, and slowly you can have a professional body, professional HR teams, particular. That image you can build up. Then reduce the HR cost, obviously, because where some of the wastage of man hours, or due to some lack of knowledge, or maybe due to shortage of the technology. So that things you can adjust and you can reduce the cost. Motivation of the HR personnel. That's one of the things, because when the future growth is there, so everybody will be motivated. If you understand, if somebody, HR people or even, okay, after 3 years, I will be expert in AI. Maybe I will be expert on machine languages. So and that it will create my values in the organization and as well as of the social systems. So definitely that motivation will come. So that things are required. Then find out the problems and solve them smoothly. So we are now here talking about all the benefits. So first things, you have to find out the problems, means identify the problem, and slowly and smoothly you can solve it. So that should not be happening once again. Provides the timely legal requirement. If something legal requirement is required, you have to do this. Maybe counselings or maybe some any issues related to legal issues, that also you have to provide, because then productivity can be increased. Otherwise, that person may be lazy. You always tension and stress will be increased due to some problems. So that should be avoided through this uh, legal way. Then sound performance appraisal systems. This is one of the things. Prime performance appraisal systems sound. There should not be any cumbersomes. Lot of things are there. It is a simple way, some tabulative things. What is your target? When you have to finish it up, and if you have not targeted fulfilled, what are the reasons and how much percentage wise you have achieved. So that system should be, performance systems procedure should be very easy and very familiar, and there should not be any misunderstandings. Communication should be clear. That thing, that is the sound performance appraisal system should be there. Then your systematic job analysis, that is very required. Through this your audit, you can identify these persons are, what are the compensations and the jobs, expected jobs from this particular person, what are the performance levels should be. It is not reachable. It is not reached so far. So you have to identify it and take some solutions. So analysis is very much required, especially the job analysis. Its capability, its competency mapping, individual competency mapping is required. And accordingly, you have to allot the jobs. And equally job distributions are also required. Then smooth adoptions of the changing mindsets. Adoptions accepted is very important because the change are going on every stages. Maybe due to technological changes, maybe due to some new project has launching, or in climatic conditions, company or CEO has changed, or maybe the any departmental issues, what about the things when the top management taking some strategies, and because of based on this, when the change is coming, that environment is created in the organizations, that as a employee should be accepted very quickly, and there should not be any ifs and buts, clearly instructed and understand the things, awareness is required, and so that means smooth adoption process are to be required. And all these things are coming from your audit. Question is there, here again I'm taking you to all of the benefits. So who will give you where, from where will get the base, the data. So the audit will give you the correct data. Based on this, you can take the decisions, management can take the decisions, what to do, how to do. Now, scope of the HR audit. Generally, one can measure the attitude of the human being, and also no one can basically no one can measure the attitude of the human beings, and their problems are not confined to the HR department alone. So it is very much broad in nature. It covers the following some of the HR areas. People are wisdoms, because of the wisdoms even though you cannot track the mindset, which is the mind is going on, that things are not visible, basically, invisible. You can only give the instruction, you can give the trainings, you can motivate. Still, somewhere, the measuring the human's behavior and attitudes is really difficult, very, very difficult task. So far, lot of process, softwares are different games are there through these behavioral patterns. Some of the psychometric tests are there to judge the human's behavior patterns or these attitudes are there. Still some of still it is not a 100% proven all the things. So now some of the areas where through this audit we can have a little bit idea and go ahead for these things. So scope of the audit are we have to see all the HR functions, audit for all the functions, means training and development, T&D department, industrial relations, which are the branches of the HRs. All the functional areas of HRs has to be audited. Where directly or indirectly human things are involved. So that's the functions, HR functions are, we are saying the HR functions. Audit of managerial compliances, of personal policies, procedures, and legal provisions. That is the another area, or we can say the scope of the audit. Suppose I am an auditors, so I have to go to the I've been appointed for the as an auditor for the organizations as the external auditors. So what should I see? What is my scope? They can say, okay, you can as per the agreement, okay, you can monitor or you can scrutinize the things, you can see the old files and you can see the current, you can take the information, interviews, survey for HR functional areas. Or they can say, okay, for production area also, you can see the production procedures and rule and regulations, safety are okay or not, that area also you can audit and give the reports. So this is the way the scope has been defined by the management for what purposes we are auditing. Audit maybe the financial audit is different things, HR audit may be different things. So there are again some categories are there. So scope has to be defined. So here first things HR functions, one of the scope. Then managerial compliance of the policies. What are the personal policies, procedure, rule and regulation norms are set by the company. That is all are in okay or not. You can go for the audit. That is another one of the scope. Then audit of corporate strategy regarding HR planning, staffing, industrial relations, then remunerations and other HR activities. Now again, the another another scope of area are defining that corporate say what are the strategies taken by the top CEO has taken board of directors by jointly they have taken some of the strategies that is really okay or not, and how far it is achievable or how well they have stand right now. So that compliances for that. What are the policy has been set up? This is really as per the government policy, there are compliances or not. Some standards are there or not. So everything are in it, even the legal provisions also. If the employee some problem was there, what type of if any accidental problems, what type of compensation package they have given. So in all the areas, that is also one of the scope. Now audit of the HR climate on employee motivations. What type of climate we have given? What type of environment we have given for the employees? For to do so, some work is there. They are doing the work, fine. You have given the compensation also, salary also, very good. But what environment is given? What type of climate you have provided for them? It is really as per the norms, as per the standards, as per the WHO. What are the things? What are the health conditions you are considering or not? So through this audit, you can identify. And if it is not there, doesn't matter, you can provide the next financial year. So then their motivation, then job satisfaction. So all the employees are happy or not, they're really doing their job very happily. So job satisfaction area is also on scope of audit. Now objectives. What are the objectives of the human resource audit? To review the whole systems of the management programs in which the management develops or the organizations with a view to determine the effectiveness of the programs. So basic objectives of the audit is see to determine the things effectiveness. Whatever the things are there in the system of the management, whatever the programs they have decided, it is that effectiveness you have to see. To seek explanations and the informations. If required, there's another objective as audit. If required, if they feel, they can ask the questions. They can please explain the things. What basis we have made these policies, or what basis that regulations you are giving the employees. What are the basic your idea? What are the objectives? So that things. What are the goals set it? So all these part are the part of your objectives of the audit, HR audit. Then to evaluate the personal staff and the employees, you have to evaluate the personal staff of the employees. So you have to see their biodata, to see their performance level, what are the experience they have, they really fit for this particular job or not, wrongly appointed or not, or wrong job and I'm right person in the right jobs. That is the motto of the things. So that things are really maintained or not. That is one of the objectives. Now, process. Auditing process. The auditing process is a function of the objectives, basically. And what are the objectives you set it by the audit purposes? What are the objectives? That objectives, how to do it is. That is the basically that functions, that the process are required for that. The nature of the organizations and the level of the involvement of the top management. That is the basically within the process. Really how the top management has involved or not. They are really aware of all these things or not. What are the things are going on? They are monitoring the systems, how best the monitoring systems. So everything are basically able to see that through this process. Now the process follows some of the stages. Through this some stage you have to do this auditing. First things briefing and the orientations. That is the main thing, the process. Then scanning the material information. What are the past files, past histories, and the present conditions? What are the information that has to be scanned, and material can be accumulated, or you can say the acquire of all these things. Then surveying the employees. Survey through this survey the employees. You can take a samples. If the organization is very big, you can have a sampling systems, maybe particular department, maybe the 10%, 20%, we have to questioning, or maybe inquire. You can physically move there, see the productions, what the way the work are doing, what type of machines they are using, their environment, their safety levels. This is the way you have to survey. There are least survey points should be there. Accordingly, you have to give a tick mark. Yes or no, it is in order or not. That type of formatted or structured list should be there. And you can survey list, and accordingly you have to tick mark the thing. Just like inspectors going, what are the packages are coming or not, all the packaging intact, what are the contents of the in the package. Similar way, like the auditor will go there and see everything are in order. All the files, all the policies, all the procedures are all the standards. You have to compare it, you have to see, give some report. Then conducting the interviews. If required, they can also interview the persons also. Oh, how are you? You are happy or not? How long you are this over? So that is the if what is your opinion? If any this machine is okay, what you are working. You are aware of all these things in the machines. You know the operations. If any troubleshooting, can you manage the thing? So this is the way you can ask and see their various competency levels. You can understand things. So questioning is also set up questions should be there. And there are some in the, I think, if you go in the page number 142 something in your study material and in unit number 9, you can see there are table is there. There are a lot of questioning. What type of questions should be there in the interview? That is clearly mentioned. The organizational wise, individual wise, everything are settled. What type of questions should be there? The table is very good. I request everybody should go to this table and see what type of questioning the interview is required, conducting the interviews. Then synthesizing what the old files, data, and the current conditions that compiling the thing and see the where the synthesizing things are in a systematic way, and where the gaps and loops, if any problems you can face it, or data correctness validations, basically, you can find it, do it like this. Then reporting. Finally, one of the report you have to prepare based on this, and you have to produce to the management. This is the things. There you have to give some recommendations and conclusions also. Report means what are the facts. Based on this fact, you have to highlight the things. That conclusions and recommendations should be filled up. What are the gaps, differences? You have to make a comparison list and give you some of the only comprehensive decisions you have to give it. Based on this, management can take the actions. Now, research approach to the HR audit. Under the HR audit, a careful investigations and the research of the HR activities are done, because some of the activities are done. There are some few approaches out there. There are some of the comparative approach, statistical approach, compliance approach, outside authority approach, MU approach, value addition approach. There are many approaches there. Through this way, you can get the audit results. Here, MBO approach is very popular nowadays. Statistical approach is also there. MBO tells how much the employees are targeted their work, they are achieved or not. These things are this is a very good approach as on date. Most of the industries are following these things. Now, advantage of the HR audit. Again, it's the benefits, some of the things, what are the benefits of the audit or advantage of the audit, almost similar type of answers. Now, it provides what the HR audit will give you. I mean, basically, what are the reports? From this, based on reports, what are the advantages for these things? Help with adjustment and the modifications of the policies. What are the policies? If required, some fine-tuning is required, some adjustment is required, or modification in the policies, procedures, and the practices in the management, that we can do it. So that is one of the advantage. Then it creates a tool to have the control over the HR functions. So we can have a control of the HR functions. So it gives us some of the data, some of the views of where the things are, more control is required, where the area are ignored by the so far not controlled, so that area are to be controlled. So this is the way it creates somehow, give us some of the overall idea of how to control the HR functions. With the help of an HR audit, cooperation between the line and the staff can be established. So by this audit, we can have a line management and staff management. We can have a very nicely, we can establish there some of the synchronizations we can make it. Then help the HR audit is a clear understanding is made about what are we doing and what is our objectives. That clear-cut understanding come out from this your audit. That is the one major advantage. It helps in the improvement of existing policies and practices. If any loopholes, if any lukana in your policy or the practices, some things are not aware earlier, that the area can be strengthened. You can strengthen the things by or improve the things, the area. including some of the rules, another special rules, or amended the things, which are the things earlier it was in the policy, it was not there, but in the practices it was not implemented earlier or not included. Basically, that inclusion of that different good things, which are based on these reports, we can add on the things. So that is another key advantage to improvement. Now then, identifications, weak areas. Which are the area are weak? In the HR functions, that also we can do it, or we can manage it. Strengths, what are the strengths and future opportunities for the HR managers? That also can be identified from this. So all are the advantages. Now limitations. So you see, everywhere some limitations should be there. As the audit, also limitations there. Some of the following limitations are there. Resistance by the employees. It is quite phenomenon, natural phenomena. People will by nature defend the things. Initially, maybe the fear of not awareness or the fear of these things. So resistance is a natural phenomenon. Then the third is the image of the HR department. Is another limitations. Unfair consultations by third party. Then another thing, then an audit of the unit or systems. So these all are some of the limitation area. Maybe it is a very mass things. May require a lot of time also, and time consuming is also very much required in the audit. It's not a one fine day within an hour you cannot give a report. It take a time. Pursue, then interview, then survey, goal, think what analysis the things, test all the data are required. So it is a very long process. Now some of the questions are this particularly explain the concept and the definition of the HR audit. Then your characteristics, as the benefits, scope of the human audit, which we have already discussed. Then audit process and the research approaches. Also that is also based on these slides you can get it. Then discuss the advantage and the limitation of the HR. Exactly the 4 questions are particular this unit, and 1 or 2 questions normally in the exam time you can get it and answer. Okay. Now going to another unit, that is the HR human resource accounting. Now you have to proceed for this accounting. Similarly, as a HR audit like this, in the accounting is another area are very important for the planning, for taking the planning decisions. As you see, the block 3 is a measurement of, actually we are talking the measurement of the HR planning decisions. So HR planning decisions, these all are the supporting area are given for the good planners. So from the audit, you have another file, you can take this data. Accounting, another file, another area. So all these areas are HR department. So everything are being available. Then you can definitely your planning decision will be better. So that's why the different way of collecting the data are required. Nowadays we see in this regard I can say throughout the world are the data. Basically data. That's why all the technology are developed based on the data. Your AI also now coming up as the predicted maybe within 2-3 years it will full-fledged come. The AI system will come. Maybe out of 268 type of jobs are there. Maybe they are out of that. Maybe 172 type of jobs will be demolished, totally removed because of the AI. So we have to equip. All the organizations are thinking. All the countries are in these revolutions. This is another revolution, AI revolutions. Earlier we have heard that the industrial revolutions that we have missed. Our India has missed because that time the Europe countries has developed their machineries and plant everything. Because we are ruled by the British, so we cannot develop in such a way. Now the time has come. The new revolutions for AI. So as a HR personals, you should also have a good exposure of AI also, so that what the way we can take this technology, take through this way we can perform our jobs. That is the idea. So we can fast do it, even though human interventions will be there. That cannot be compromised. Human brain, human intelligence is always required, because how to operate these AI systems. That's why it is required. Now, human resource accounting is also one of the part. Maybe let it be through this AI we are getting all these accounting sources. Now, the manually we are doing by the discussions. This is the way we are doing. Now, in future, maybe AI give you as a database things within a very short times. Maybe for accounting or audit are taking by 3 month or 4 month times. AI will give you maybe within a day or today will get all the things. So very quickly and fast decisions we can take it. So that is the way neutralizing, moving the man hours. We can drastically reduce the man hours. That is the idea behind it. So that war, that AI technology war is going on. So now, here I have to see the activities and history of the accounting, then your process of the measurement, how to process the accounting systems, cost of the human resources, advantages of the human resource accounting, and what are the limitations. As per the structure of the units. Now, first things as per the according to Likert, 1971, HRA serves the following purposes in the organization. So, what are the purposes? It furnishes cost value, cost versus value information. What are the costs you have invested, basically what you are invested, and accordingly the value you are achieving or not, what you have set it as part of things. That information and making the management decisions about the acquiring, allocating, developing, maintaining the human resources in order to attain the cost effectiveness. Means particular one, you are recruiting 10 people. You are giving the salaries, you are some expectations of theirs. For that, you are arranging some of the electricity, some computers. So this is all the amenities. See, this is all are basically the cost, compensation cost, environment cost, water cost, current cost. So all together, we see what are the acquiring and what are the allocations, and what the development really are you achieve or not. That comparisons are required. So that's the cost and the values. Value in the sense he has fulfilled the objectives. That person's what are the earning 1 lakh rupees. Really, that 1 lakh's values he has given, he has developed. Company is also happy, and the objectives is fulfilled. His work is related to marketable, or company are gaining profit. So profit is gaining. So that is the way you have to calculate the value was coming. What are the cost and the value? So that comparisons are basically what HR accounting systems through this way we can get. Then it allows the management personnel to monitor effectively to use the human resources. So based on this accounting report, you can monitor effectively. Then it provides a sound and the effective basis of the human asset control. Whatever the assets are you have, if you know the individual, all the note points, considering the note points, that if you aware of the note points, what is effectiveness is actions, then you can monitor the things. And where the asset monitoring or asset, I can say the depletion layers, that asset are really how much it is sustainable, how much it is liquidity, everything are can be easily managed the things. So another helps for the development of the management principles by classifying the financial consequences and the various practices. These all are the by the according to Likert 1971 has described the things. Now, history of the human resource accounting. Some of the history behind it is a 1991, according to framework he has given some of the things. There are so many stages are there, first stage, second stage. These are all the revolutions, what the way the history has their accounting systems. The early stage was initiated by academic interest. Then second stage are there. During this stage, the period effect efforts were the made to develop and validate the various human resource accounting models. Then the third stage, obviously there's some of the area 1971 to 76. You see the 5 years. Basically everywhere you see almost 5 to 10 years. The different stages as slowly it has developed. So it is a history of the accounting systems. Earlier what type of things and now today what are things. Maybe slowly AI will capture all these things. It is definite. So in the fifth stage you see the period witnessing the growth of the interest again in field of HR%. So these are some of the histories are there. And now what now we are talking about the cost approaches. There are some process. There in the process again there are some approaches should be there. What the way we have to do it? There are two ways. One of the cost approach system and the economic value approaches. The cost approaches means the cost approaches involve the methods based on the cost incurred by the company, and in regards the employees. And cost is sacrifice incurred to obtain some incurred to obtain some of the anticipated benefit or the services. The economic value approach, as another approach is there, the economic value of the human resources is the present worth of the services that they are likely to render in futures. And this may be the value of the individuals, groups, or total human organizations. The method for calculating the economic value of the human resource may be classified in two ways, one the monetary and non-monetary methods. So these are all of the approaches, the way you have to go ahead for the accounting systems. Now, some of the group value measurement, how to measurement the group values. As we know, as individuals, if you put some of the work, he may or may not be doing these jobs successfully, or maybe due to some hesitations or something, or maybe the fear of things, or awareness, lack of awareness. But when you are putting in as a group, maybe he is performing very good. So all these things measurement you have to do. Various models are there for these things. Again, the Likert and the Boyer's models are there to determine the value of a group within the organizations. Some Brumet, then your frameworks and the place, economic value models are there. Human organizational dimensional methods, and then valuation of expense central group. So all are measuring different models. Different models are there. Now, cost in human resource assessment. That is one of the very important area, assessment. Word itself to assess the things. So this cost, what are the costs you have to identify and ascertain to know the real worth or the value of the human resource. This cost can be divided into three types. First thing you see, you are invested some of the amount in terms of money or in terms of time, in terms of knowledge, you are invested. And in terms, what are the value you are achieved through these human resource. That is the idea. So now there are three types. So again, there are some of the models are there. Through this model group of theirs, acquisition cost. For acquiring the things, what are the cost? Start cost, starting the things, any things. What is the starting cost? Then development cost. First things you see, you have to, any employees, you consider any employees, he has to learn first. He has to understand the things. But you are giving the compensation, you are saying the salaries. But that type of output you are not getting. So that is the stage at basically acquisition cost. During the things he has acquisition and knowledge. After that, maybe you will give a product. So product or that value, it may not be reaching in the first day itself. It cannot be acceptable. I mean, not expectation should not be there. So that's why everything's some acquisition cost is there. It may be related to your anything, the product itself or even itself. So you'll take some time to custom the things or performing the very good things. So acquisition cost. Then start cost. Has to start the things. Again, there are some modification may be required, maybe corrections is required, maybe the guidance is required, maybe some of the counseling is required. So that starting cost is also required. Then finally the development cost. Then finally you have to give a training, retraining, or give it some time for understand the things, or upgrade the things. So this is the way cost has to be valuations are. So different model through this model you can achieve all these things. So human resource accounting, what are the advantage? Now we are talking what are the advantage. First things, human resource accounting is a source of valuable information about the human resource of the company, and such valuable information develops a base for managerial decision making, crucial decision like the new recruitment, promotions, transfer, job rotations, and job enlargement are taking using these accounting tools and techniques. Because you see, for example, you are transferring some of the people in particular locations, or you have to give some promotions of the particular person. There is some cost is involved. Cost is involved means naturally the accounting. You are sending some of this transportation cost, settlement cost. Then after that, you have to start performing the things. So you have to consider the things. How we can judge is that different through these models, you can have an idea with this much expenditure, this much cost are involved in particular these things. If we promote some of the 10 or 15 people in particular 1 year, then how much compensation package or salary or maybe in the cost wise, what will be the budget or how much can be afforded by these things, and it is really justified or not. That is all these things are through these accounting tools and techniques you can correctly measure the things. So that is one of the advantage through this accounting system. It enables the organizations to identify the strength and weakness of the potential threats, and through this way, suppose some of the training areas are not strengthened very fast. But I mean, based on this survey or through this accounting process, it has been that management are came to know that the things are some loopholes are there. So maybe it is not developed as such, or the training program are not really that things are not achieved through this training program. Maybe you have to change some program. What are the costs is involved in the training program that you can reduce, or you can see, or you can add something more, or you can reduce some of the things. So that all these parameters, all these things you can in a very micro levels, you can identify the things. And based on this, that is your some of the standpoint, some of the weak points, and threats also there. Suppose if your people are not trained accordingly, maybe that area you have to require some more investment is required for the training purposes, management. This is the third areas, because the other competitors are going ahead. They are the expert on this field. So you have to survival, you have to go for this also. So all these things are advantage of the through this accounting process. Because any business, any organization run by the not only the objectives and all, cost is also very important things. Because what are the deficit fiscal areas, that's also to be considered for looking to the your profitability. Now, another the human resource accounting facilitates the your effectiveness of the management policies and the procedures related to human. What are the policies and procedures that are really good or not? That also can be, and it is how far it is effective. That also can be judged. And it is a tool of assist to ascertain the present and as well the future potentials. And through this way, we can ascertain, we can obtain the things. It is how much it is potentials, the employees and individuals as a part of this group. HR systems, assessments, and the investment of the return are made or not. So all things are basically the advantage. The information generated from the human resource accounting helps in controlling the various human costs to the organizations so that human resources of the organizations can be utilized effectively and profitably. Almost things I can already said already. Just so in this part, I can say basically here, basically the things are giving you a lot of advantage. Accounting are giving you a lot of advantage. This is especially in relation to your human resource. Here actually you are talking about the human resource accounting. Everything are accounting, everywhere it is implemented. Here especially we are talking about human. But, your subject is human resource. So accounting maybe initially you will confused. Accounting normally it will be always in the mind for the finance only. It is really finance, but human resource finance means how much you are investing for the human purpose, really you are achieved or not, or it is really wastage or not. That should be an idea behind it, that accounting system for the human purpose. A few limitations, as you know, there's some everywhere some limitations are there. The human resources audit as a recommended but not a mandate, because it is recommended and not a mandate. Any company, nowhere it is a very mandate. No specific guidelines is also there, and procedures also not there. How to measure the cost of the value of the human resource? As I said, really value, identification of the value of the particular employees is very difficult task. So that is one of the limitations. Tax structures and the legal compliances do not consider human assets, because as per our taxation systems, see, there's no human asset in the company, no, nothing. With them, what are the credit and credit balance sheets? They are all the, how much you have invested and what are the your expenditures. This is the way that things are tax department are. The tax structures are like this. But human assets, basically the human assets, and what the accounting system for really the your human purposes, theoretically, that is not considered by the tax structures. It is not do not consider the human resource accounting systems. So that is one of the limitations. So human resource accounting systems has various methods and tools for the human resource valuations, but not all widely accepted. There are some of the rules and regulations are there, but maybe some of the European countries and other countries, they are following the Japan itself. They are considering the things. But here and most of the other countries, they are not considering the things. And even there are not tools like this. If you go for judge anything, any worker, union will come in between. Why you are harassing that person? This is the way they can. They all these details, they are reluctant to say all these things. They are, even though the knowledge level you cannot identify the things. Sometimes it's create problems. So that is the way exactly accounting or value additions or value. I mean the solutions of all these things is very difficult task. So it is quite difficult, and we have the measure of the human assets as they are social elements. As I said, because human social elements and they do not remain the same in terms of the productivity and efficiency. If I say, okay, I'll do it, but after one day I'm not doing it, Who cares for these things? So that really, actually, that regulations, that type of measurement for the assessed is very difficult. That is one of the, maybe you are as a accounting reporters or something, you are planning some of the, these persons are recruited, this much salary will be given, and monthly, and that much work he has to produce. But maybe 1 month, 2 months, he is giving it that productions, that productivity has created. But in the next, after that, the month, maybe in the third month, he's deteriorating, declining his things, maybe any reasons, maybe willingly, unwillingly, maybe medical problem. So that's why there's some sort of you can say steadily carve, you can plot some of the curve. You have to speculate the some of the things. You can extrapolate the things before the planning, but exactly you are not getting it. So that is one of the problems for the your assessment. That exactly efficiency or physical resources of the organizations is very difficult. So that is one of the limitations. Now a few another some of the areas are there, limitation area, quite difficult to measure the performance because the organizations cannot assure whether it is the skill and knowledge of the employee or the motivation of the enlargement levels. For example, I can give you, because sometimes it has happened. What if maybe the boss is saying, you are qualified, earlier you have done all these things, but why you are not performing these things? Last month you have to do these things, why you are questioning all these things? That type of conflict will start. It may be willingly, maybe he is feel I am overloaded. Why if I do this work, maybe the next month I will not get the reward. So it may be some of the problem or motivation problems will be there. Maybe. So exactly the level of motivation or the engagement levels you cannot identify. It's a very difficult task. As I say, the human are available, social animals. Wisdom is there. It's on my mind, I can say the mind. If I do these things, it is my wish. If I not do these things, it is my wish. Nobody can judge immediately. So that is the another limitation. Human resource accounting methods are based on the certain assumptions. Now here actually the limitation means where the things, so much calculation, so much things are there. So everything are based on the assumptions. Just you are calculating that thing. You are in futuristic mind. Yes, it may be. Everywhere it may be. It's assumptions are there, stand valid and relevant for the some situations. So there is universal acceptability of human resource accounting, unlike the financial accounting. Now, acceptability is there, but not like financial accounting. So that's why the financial accounting are value additions are really required, which are not actually there. So that is one of the this is all a list of your limitation purposes. Now some of the questions are within these units for this your self-assessment questions. Explain the concept of the HRA, I mean human resource accounting, and its objectives. That is one of the questions which we already have discussed. We discussed. Then write the is the history of the human resource accounting. That some of the, as I said, there are some stages are there as the records 1991 onward. There are so many stages are there, stage 1, stage 2, that things you have to explain. What are the things? Then describe the process of the human resource accounting. There are some models are there, different processes are there, economic process are there, there are monetary, non-monetary, all these things are in the process are there. Then discuss the advantages, as I already discussed, and limitation of human resource accounting. Here is all 4 questions. You can see all the 4 questions already I have discussed. So very you can go further for the study materials or from the other source of books. Lot of books are available in the Googles. So there you can prepare this way. So from this unit number 10, these 4 questions are sufficient to understand this particular case. So I think I hope that both the units are giving you some of the ideas. Then you have to further study. Obviously, further studies is required. Both the units are very important as far as I think the HR planning concerned. Both the units are very important, and definitely in the exam you will get a questions from both the units. That is a 99% true to very important areas. So I request to go through this in both the units in details, those who are preparing for the exam. So okay, I think this is the way I have to finish these sessions. I have to look forward for the next sessions. Thank you very much.